welcome to Women's Corner. Of course, it's a Friday, and usually it's thank God it's Friday. I'm excited to be here as usual, and of course, today we're talking about health. It's a bit serious, but we're gonna try to make it a bit subtle because it's Friday. But like we always say, whenever you want to drink, you must know that you do not drink and drive, even though it's a Friday. My name is Rose Blossom, and you're welcome to the show. I'm so excited to be here. Remember that we're live on Galaxy TV News on our YouTube channels, and we have all the Galaxy TV channels, which we have Galaxy TV News, Galaxy TV Comedy on our YouTube. You can like, subscribe, and share. Also, we have all the platforms, social media platforms at Galaxy TV on Facebook and on Instagram. Also, you can watch all of our live programs live right from our app, which is Galaxy Television app. So to get the app, you can go through Google Play Store or Apple Play Store. Just type in Galaxy Television, download the app, and watch us live. Okay, so today is going to be exciting because we're talking about childbirth and of course the maternal care, which is very, very important. Most times you see me talk about childbirth and maternal care is because it cannot be overrated. Sometimes we don't talk enough about it. A lot of mothers are struggling to overcome the childbirth, the after effects of childbearing. Some are even still looking for children, while some are pregnant and they're like before and after how they look. But anyways, we have a professional who will be talking about that with us today. I'm excited to bring her on board. But before we go for that, let's quickly go for our first tip, which is to improve and of course pregnancy chances. For those who want to get pregnant, there's some certain lifestyle you have to drop, which is very, very important. So let's quickly check this tip, and when we come back, I will introduce my guest, and of course we get talking to educate ourselves. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Few tips for getting pregnant faster. Stop taking birth control. If you're taking birth control pills and hoping to get pregnant fast, it may be helpful to stop them a few months before trying to conceive. Switch to a non-hormonal form of contraception instead. Find your fertile window. No matter how often you have sex, if you skip the most fertile days of the month, you won't conceive. The biggest mistake any patient make is not knowing exactly when they ovulate. Have sex before you ovulate. If you want to get pregnant fast, it's important to know that having sex before you ovulate boosts the chances that there will be sperm around to greet the eggs once it leaves the ovary. Sperm can survive in your reproductive tract for up to 5 days under the right conditions, but an egg only lasts for 12 to 24 hours after it is released. Try some recommended positions. Maintain a healthy lifestyle. If you're wondering how to increase your chances of getting pregnant, self-care can go a long way. It is no secret that your body goes through some major changes and challenges during pregnancy and delivery. So be sure to start your pregnancy journey in tip-top shape by taking important steps towards living a healthy lifestyle. Scheduling a preconception checkup is an important step in your trying to conceive journey. Your OB/GYN can talk to you about your overall health and suggest any necessary lifestyle changes to help you get pregnant fast. Be sure to discuss any pre-existing conditions that might affect your pregnancy and medications you are currently taking. You can also explore your family history to decide if genetic screening is advisable. Eat healthy food. There isn't one miracle food that you need to be eating to conceive. They are loaded. Eat a variety of vegetables, fruit, complex carbohydrates, and lean proteins. Aim for at least 3 cups of vegetables a day and try to include protein with every meal. Eating a variety of colorful fruit and veggies will infuse your diet with antioxidants and nutrients. And don't skip your green leafy with the folate and iron you need now more than ever.
Right, you're welcome back. You're still watching Women's Corner, and of course, like I said, we are talking about childbearing and of course maternal care, which is very, very important for every woman. Okay, so we have our guest joining us. She is an ophthalmic nurse, and of course, her name is Boluwatife Kehinde. It's good to have you. Good morning, Kehinde.
Good morning,
How are you
everyone.
doing?
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so very much for joining in under short notice. Okay, so my first question, basically we know a lot about, some people know a lot about pregnancy and all of that, but let's talk about child care. Now, childbirth, basically. Now, after childbirth, a lot of people still do not know how to take care of themselves because I'm talking about the mothers now. Some persons after they give birth, they feel like, okay, now I can go back to my lifestyle. If they want to eat, maybe they eat once a day, or maybe they just take tea. You see some of them, they take just basically tea. Then maybe they want to eat anything strong, maybe in the afternoon, then in the evening they look for something light. Now, what I'm trying to say is sometimes their diet, the food they're taking is not enough. I feel is not enough. So I just want to ask, what are the kind of food and how should they eat right after childbirth? Some persons after childbirth, they are telling you, give me swallow, I want to eat fufu, fumila mala, I want to eat amala, you know, that kind of thing. But basically they will tell you you're supposed to take pepper soup, you're supposed to take pap, you're supposed to take yam pea soup and all of that. With your own professionalism, please can you tell us exactly the kind of food every mother should eat right after childbirth, and how should they eat it, and for how long should they eat before they go back into their solid meal so that the child can be healthy?
Okay, thank you for that. I'll go by saying, let me just give a quick overview about the maternal health and the child's health. I'll go by saying the maternal health has to do with the physical, the psychological, the social, the emotional part, the general well-being of the mother. And it translates from before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and afterwards. The same is applicable for the child. When you're taking care of the mother in pregnancy, you also focus on the child. I mean, because you also want to have an healthy baby after delivery. So for the diet now, well, I think in terms of the tribe, we have funny cultural, I don't want to say cultural differences, or what do I call it? Some tribe would say, oh, after childbirth, you look for something heavy, some will say you do hot thing so that, you flush out. I'm just going to say that pregnancy did not just happen in a day. It's a whole journey. It took about 9 months. So we don't expect things to just unravel within a twinkle of an eye. It's a process. So I advise that you take things gently. It depends on how the delivery, it's done. Let's say, for instance, you had your child through the vaginal delivery. Yeah, you can start eating almost immediately, and then of course we encourage that you start with something very light. Preferably depends on what the mother wants. Maybe it could even be swallow, but you just don't have to rush it. The food is not going anywhere. You're back to your normal self now. The baby is healthy. You are there too. You're doing fine. So there's going to be a process. And then if it is the other way around, which is through the cesarean section, of course you might not get to eat. Most of the time you don't eat immediately. It's going to take a while. And then when you start eating, we start with graded oral soup like that before you continue. Would let you know as a medical practitioner, especially when you have your child or your children in a health facility well equipped with skilled workers. These things are processed. And then going back to your meal generally now, after childbirth is expected that you're encouraged to eat healthy. This is not the time you now go back to maybe taking your junks for those that enjoy taking let's say carbonated drinks and the like. Yeah, we are not saying that we should leave that lifestyle completely, for those that enjoy that part. But for now, please do more vegetables, do more of protein. You want your baby looking healthy, because at that time we also encourage that you do exclusive breastfeeding at least for the first 6 months of this baby's life. So as a mother, you need to eat healthy, you need to eat fine. For me, I would advise that you go for the 6 classes of food in right proportion, and enough water and adequate vegetables. We do a whole lot of magic. Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. Now, that's very important. The whole classes of food and the right proportion. Okay, so that means you would not subscribe to this
Yeah, absolutely.
after childbirth, always going for the heavy meal, right? You're supposed to go for something usually very light. And why do they actually tell mothers to take those kind of food and not the very solid type of food? We need to know what is the clause behind that. What's the reason for that?
Okay, I'm going to go into a bit of the anatomy. I mean, the body system, just a bit. Pregnancy, when pregnancy happens, you have your baby leaving the lower abdominal part, that's the pelvic, they come into the upper part of the body. So in that stage, you see some pregnant women having issues. Some complain, some pregnant mothers suffer from constipation, heartburns, and the like. It's because the digestive system, depends on the size of the baby and maybe the body system also. The weight of the baby tends to compress some of this digestive system. So when you give birth, we don't expect that this um, descended abdomen, the big tummy, let me just say that, is going back just immediately. It's going to take a while. So we don't want you rushing this food. Digestion is also a process that needs to take place. So when you go back to every meal, then you just expect that, oh, digestion just takes place. You can still, you just give birth. Just give it time. Give it time, let the body adjust, let the system adjust, let your brain accept that, okay, the baby is out. The baby is out, yes, you can see, but your body is not working with that yet. So when you take this thing, you can have issues with indigestion. You can start suffering again from indigestion. Some people even experience, you can start vomiting, when the food is not going down properly, it's not well digested. So it's just to avoid all of these other things that could, one or two other things. You start feeling nauseated, just a bit of irritation. We just want you to be comfortable. We just want you to be fine. There's still, slight pains, here and there, a bit of discomfort. Don't rush it. Just give it time. And this food, they are not going anywhere. So you enjoy your meal. So just relax. Just take it gradually.
Okay, there's enough ample time. There's enough time for you to eat all the food and all the drinks that you want. So just for now, for the baby and for yourself, for your mental state, it's important you listen to what. Yes. Okay, so we understand that. At least it's not like there's something they're trying to, maybe keep in
No,
or
no,
something.
no.
Okay, so the next question is, let's talk a bit about maternal care. A lot of mothers who get pregnant, sometimes they do not even know how to get ready, prepared, both mentally and physically, for the delivery process, and of course for the after delivery, because there's a process whereby you still probably have to be in the hospital. They have to monitor you, they have to take care of you, then before you get home, all of that. So what are the things that you think every mother should have equipped herself with, mentally or physically, before even delivery, before the month of delivery, like while you're still like about 1 month or 2 months to your time of delivery? What are the things that they need to keep in check, they need to do, and they need to avoid doing, so that they can have not necessarily an easy delivery, but so there will not be so much of a complication or complication at all, and they will be healthy and the baby too can be fine?
All right. Thank you for that. I would go by saying that complications from childbirth is no respecter of anybody, irrespective of the social class, the economical status, and the likes. That's why even before conception, we ask that you go, do checkups. Then as soon as conception is confirmed, that's as soon as you confirm that you're pregnant, the first thing we advise you to do is to go and start your antenatal. It's not because, oh, we want you to go there and we pay the doctors or we pay the health facility. It's not about that. It's about you. There are quite a number of changes that could happen from conception till birth. This is just a process of monitoring the health of the mother and the health of the baby. Anything could happen, anything could change. But because you are consistent, there's something we call antenatal, there's something we call intranatal, and then postnatal care. Before, while pregnancy is confirmed, during the course of pregnancy, and then after birth. anything could change. For instance, we monitor a number of things, but to mention a few, we monitor your blood level, we monitor the growth of the baby, the fetal heart rate. We see that you're not anemic, to see that, yeah, you have enough, because anything could happen during birth. We ensure that your blood pressures are under control. That is another complication you don't even want to go through. So these are the reasons we advise that, okay, before conception, these are the things to do. So my advice is for anybody considering pregnancy, the care you take, is not about, and then it's a whole lot. It's not just about the physical part now. We help you go through the emotional, the physical aspects, the health part too. So you just need to book your antenatal so that all of this can be monitored. We would notice if there are any changes. We ask them to do scan, during this period. We say that, okay, from the scan, we can tell this is going on fine. Oh, there's a bit of changes. Sometimes from the scan, we can tell that, oh, the fluid, the amniotic fluid, that's where the baby swims in, it's beginning to drain. We know when the cord is wrapped around the baby, when there is a need for an emergency. We know because you come for you're consistent with your checkup. Nobody's going to see a pregnant woman and can tell from just looking, but it is from this your consistent checkup, that we can tell that, oh, okay, this is going on and this is ongoing. So it's not just about the physical part. There are a whole lot. The emotional part is there. We have to be sure that you're healthy. Your health is important. We have pregnant mothers come with one or two ailments or diseases. The likes of, for instance, of malaria. That's another thing we try as much as possible to rule out during pregnancy too. Yeah, so just be sure that you have enough, be well informed that pregnancy is a journey and it's 9 months. So it's not just something that it's giving you enough time to prepare. Get every information, read all possible books, ask every possible questions that is required of you to ask. There is no question that is stupid. Please go ahead, feel free, especially for first timers, and let's leave first timer aside. The pregnancies are not the same. The first child definitely different from the second pregnancy. They are usually not the same. So I will stop on that for now.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that one. All right. Let's talk a bit about let's go into the part whereby we have family members and of course the spouse having to be part of that maternal care process, especially when it comes to labor and delivery. Now, I feel like some family members do not understand or do not even know the role they are supposed to play in the life of, maybe their sibling who is pregnant and about to get to deliver, or after delivery, or sometimes even the spouse. You see some spouse who will not even understand when it comes to intimacy. Some of them still believe it should still be like that. Some still believe that, okay, the wife should still cook because I love my wife cooking and it has to be my wife cooking. But anyway, that's like the list of the worries. Now, what role do you think spouses should play and family members should play in the role of maternal care and also in childbirth?
Okay, I'll start by saying that this part after birth, of course during pregnancy, and then, but most importantly after childbirth is the time and the period that we need all the help from families, and friends, especially the spouse. There's a lot of changes. This is you've just brought out another human being to the world. So a lot is going to need adjustments, from the type of food you eat, from the way you sleep, from the environment you stay, and the likes. So we need every possible help. For instance, the husband or the father of the child, we expect that you give all the support, not just the physical. There are some men that are dead and they say, oh, I've paid the hospital bills, I've provided food at home, there's light. It's not about that. It's more. Yeah. Sorry?
Go ahead, I'm listening to you.
Hello? Okay, so it's not just about that. Yes, that's important. We appreciate that, but we actually need the emotional part is there. This baby cry like every second. They don't sleep during the night. So the first few months of life, that's their own daytime. Their nights is their daytime. So your own daytime is their night. They sleep during the day, and the nights when you also need to rest, that's when they wake up. So it's draining. I've had to live with pregnant nursing mothers. I've had to stay with them. I've had to stay with my sister. It wasn't a simple job. So you need all the help. You need all the emotional support. For those that can have their mothers or their mother-in-law or their sister-in-law or whoever that can be of assistance, yes, please let them take all the help, the physical, the emotional. We don't expect that, and this is not fair on the families, asking that, oh, because she's just seated there, she just gave birth. Please give her time. Don't expect that she jumps into the kitchen, and start putting yam. Do you understand? A whole lot has just happened. Her body has just experienced a lot of changes. So just give her time. She's going to go back to her usual life. But all of this is a gradual process. It took the baby to come out. It took 9 good months. At least give her, if you cannot, give her another 9 months to see if she's not going to be better off too. You understand? So
We're gonna go for a tip right now. Thank you so much. I love your
okay.
responses. I still have more questions coming up. Of course, we have some live questions
Sorry.
which have been there before, because we'll keep talking about maternal health, postpartum depression, and all of it. It just has to do with mothers. But of course, we still have Kenge with us. But let's quickly go for another tip, and this one is definitely for pregnant people. But this is another way you can get pregnant, improve your pregnancy chances, even though you have fibroid. But we do it for you to have fibroid. If you have one, you know the right thing to do. Speak to your health professional or practitioner and do what is right. But this is just to improve your chances, even though you are living with fibroid. So let's quickly take this tip, and we'll be right back to the studio to continue talking about maternal care and childbirth with Kendi Buluwatife. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Tips on managing pregnancy with fibroid. Many patients with fibroids can get pregnant, but to improve your chances of a healthy pregnancy, it's best to discuss your goals and priorities with your doctor. If fibroids are having an impact on your quality of life, a gynecologic surgeon can discuss treatment options that can preserve your fertility. Some types of fibroids may have an impact on fertility. For example, fibroids that bulge into the center of your uterus can make it more difficult for an embryo to implant into the lining of the uterus. If you have fibroids and are having trouble getting pregnant, there might be a correlation. However, it is important to see a fertility specialist to rule out other possible causes of infertility before determining that fibroids are the main reason. For some patients, removing fibroids with uterus sparing treatment may improve fertility. However, the main objective of fibroid removal is to alleviate symptoms such as heavy bleeding and bloating. Most patients with fibroids can have a natural birth, delivery from the vagina. However, fibroids do increase the risk for a C-section. Patients with fibroids are 6 times more likely to need a C-section compared with pregnant patients without fibroids. If you have fibroids and wish to start a family, talk with your doctor about your option for treatment and your risks. Together, the two of you can decide what's safest for your future pregnancy. While you can't prevent fibroid, a healthy lifestyle may lower your risk. Likewise, a healthy lifestyle, which includes maintaining a healthy weight, and this will also lower your risk for fertility issues and high-risk pregnancies.
Okay, all right, welcome back. You're still watching Women's Corner, and of course, like I said, we are talking about maternal care and childbirth. childcare too also involved. And yes, we've been talking with Boluwat Bekendi, and she's been dishing us great ample advice. Now, from your time, I want to ask now, let's talk about you professionally from the things you've done. Now, from your time of experiences for even childbearing, maternal care, dealing with families, dealing with patients, dealing with even the spouse, which of the experience is the most, how will I say it, most, I will not say unfortunate, but almost unfortunate, but somehow because of your professionalism and the part of where you talking to either the mother, the father, or the family member, things were able to be sorted. Maybe the child was, being born and was eventually healthy, or the husband was now in support. One very amazing story, which of course at the end of the day, everyone, both the father, the mother, and the family, and even the hospital, because trust me, when there is one shaky in the hospital, and eventually everything becomes successful, the whole hospital gets to celebrate. In fact, you get to notice that almost all the nurses and the doctors already know what was going on. But at the end of the day, because it's a success story, people tend to celebrate and like, congratulations, we thought it would never happen, and we didn't know you were able going to do this. So can you share one of those experiences with us, so that some mothers and of course some spouse and some family members can learn from maybe this story, the mistakes of this person, and be better?
Oh, okay. Thank you. A good example from my experience would be a time when we had a woman that came in to give birth. Of course, she's been consistent with her antenatal care. She's one of those deliberate and intentional women out there. She was consistent. I remember her story very well. And then while on the delivery couch, everything being equal, we were expecting that she was going to have the baby through vaginal delivery and all of that. But before within a twinkle of an eye, quite a number of things just changed. Immediately we took her in. It was an emergency CS, and fast these we were able to save the woman and the child. For instance, if she had a mind of no, I'm only going to give birth to vaginal delivery and no other, and then the family too were not supportive, we would be saying another story entirely. I'm just glad that we were able to save the situation at that time. So I'm putting this story out there because I'm trying to encourage people that there is no way it is said that it is only women that give birth through the vagina that are the strongest. You can give birth either through vagina or through cesarean section. The most important thing is the mother should be alive and healthy, and also the baby should be alive and healthy. For instance, let's look back into that story and see if, let's just imagine she refused and said, they've said that, it is only mothers that give birth through vaginas and this and that, maybe because of the misconception and all of that. But we'll be saying another thing entirely, So this is me putting it out there, saying that from my years of experience, because everything was good, our antenatal care was excellent. We didn't see that coming, but God gave us, our opportunity, and we took it. So because you had your prenatal care and everything seemed good, and then you now come and say, no, we are going to, maybe we are taking the traditional decision or whatever. No, please, you are here, please give the decisions to your healthcare practitioner. Let them make the decision. Give your consent and let's go ahead. Let's save you and let's save the baby. So I'll just emphasize on that. Please, irrespective of what your care is, prenatally, anything could surface. And as soon as we have discovered anything and your healthcare facility practitioners have told you that this is what we are seeing and this is a likely chance, please take it so that we can have the best of it, which is the joyful mother and the happy baby. Thank you.
Very much. What an amazing story. Trust me, I love when I hear success story. And okay, I wanted to share a story, but let me leave it to you because you are a guest for today. So of course, to wrap up this section because of our time. Now, if you're to sit before mothers who are about to deliver, they're about to get to their EOD, expected date of delivery, and of course you have another section of women who just gave birth and probably still in the hospital, they are waiting for the time they will say, oh yeah, you can go home and take your baby. At these two positions, these two sections, what advice will you give to the intending mothers and the ones who are already mothers? What advice will you give to them? I want it to be something that even for people who are not rich or who are not comfortable, they will be able to listen to the advice and are there. Because you said something, eat all 6 classes of food. Trust me, rice, as much as rice is supposed to be the easiest thing to eat, it is very, very difficult. So it's almost impossible for people to be able to eat those 6 classes of food. So what advice? So I'm trying to say, let us be let's reach to every woman, every mothers, every intending mothers, the ones who are comfortable, the ones who are impoverished, the ones who are rich, so that they can actually be mothers and be happy. Because sometimes I feel like the economy sometimes can make even mothers or intending mothers, before giving birth or after giving birth, not being able to love their child the way they should love their child. Because they will be like, if this child was not here, maybe I'll be taking care of just myself, or this man will not be doing all of this. And how people complain when they are not comfortable. So this is just to help people be able to navigate their way through motherhood, and of course before they become a mother. So what are the advices?
Okay, well, I would go by starting with emotional advice. Childbirth is a whole lot. Yeah, it's a whole lot. We need to really say that it's a whole lot. So most times when I have those that, if they happen to be in the same space, I'm one of those nurses that I try to take, expose them to each other. Oh, this person just had a baby, you are expecting, can you please share your experience, just a form of encouragement. You've seen, this is somebody, okay, because I don't have a child yet. So coming from somebody that just had a child, I think it's kind of sinks, it sits well. They kind of resonate with you, like, okay, this is somebody from this experience saying this. They'll tell you quite a number of things. They'll say, see, when your baby is sleeping, you to sleep. They say things, when your baby is due to do this, don't say that, okay, this is the time for you to do all of these things. They tend to be more sincere. You understand? And in terms of the financial part, yeah, the economy is as it is, but then we should, you don't have to, what's the word now, you don't have to really go out of your way, yeah, especially when you cannot afford it. There are some basic things you should still be able to do. You can eat your rice, but try as much as possible to take maybe beans just to support it. You can get vegetables, you can get vegetables as cheap as maybe 100 or 200 naira. You don't need any ceremony, just put small pepper and onion and crayfish. Even if it's just the crayfish powder, just see, you can put it beside your white rice. Do you understand? You can just get egg. It might not be every day for those that are maybe struggling mothers. Just ensure that in the little proportion, in your little way. And then importantly, personal hygiene is important too. It's enough to say, okay, I can't afford this food. Are you also a neat mother? You don't have to, if you may not be able to afford water from the dispenser, or maybe bottled water, but you can boil your water. You have access to clean water. Boil them. When it's cooled down, please go ahead, you drink it. Keep it in a clean environment, and make sure that the container you're reserving is clean. You want to reserve the water, it's a very clean one, then you're good to go. Do you understand? So it's really not about the expensive life out there also. You might not be able to afford, the clothes from the boutique or the likes. They sell the fairly used one and they are still fine. Please get them, even if it is 1 or 2. You might not be able to afford a diaper, maybe as much as somebody that is doing well. Even if it is once in a while for special occasion, get a diaper. But when the baby is at home, please, you can use a nappy. The way they still wash, some people still do it. And if you are neat about it, your baby is not going to have any rashes. Just be neat. Once you see that it's nappy sore, please take it out, clean the baby, and the likes. So it's just about being intentional. It's about being deliberate, having your information and putting them into use, the way, it's going to work and help you achieve the optimum goal.
For giving such advice, and I'm just coming from a professional who has been there over the years, because we know way back. So it's good. I want to first appreciate you for actually joining the program. Thank you so much for always doing your best to be available, just so that you can reach out to mothers and intending mothers, and so that they can be better off. with themselves and be happy whatever situation. Because trust me, having a child is a gift from God. And so for intending mothers to hopefully, for those who are trying to get pregnant, if you listen to the tip, it's one of the ways that you could boost your chances of getting pregnant. But thank you very much, Boluwati Fekende. Thank you so much for creating time for us. We love you. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this.
Pleasure. Yeah, thank you for having me. Bye.
Okay, definitely. If asking her if she enjoyed the show is an understatement, because she loves what she does. That was what I saw her doing when I met her, and of course, from then it's been beautiful and always amazing. I will still say thank you so much to her, and thank you to our viewers who are joining to watch the program.